Hasan, Pogo early stream, Pogo. Spicy. Hassle. Has Porgies any hogs in chat?
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the HasanAbi broadcast coming to you live from cold and kind of cloudy California, Los Angeles. We are live and alive, folks. And guess what? I am actually earlier than usual, earlier than ever. It is 10:41 a.m. on a Tuesday, February 9, 2021. And the reason why I'm early is because there is currently an impeachment trial happening in the Senate. It started already. And I also did not want to keep the daycare children outside in the cold for too long. Now, I know this is usually the time of the broadcast where I give you the personal news and what's going on in my life, but there really isn't anything going on outside of the fact that I am loving the NoPixel roleplay streams. I'm very excited to go play some more roleplay later with some friends. We're as a server, it's starting to get to the groove of things. There's going to be more crime available tomorrow. I decided not to run for mayor And I think that a lot of people are enjoying it. So we're just going to get to... yeah, I'm going to do more crimes instead of do politics in the NoPixel roleplay. So... regardless, though, roleplay has been one of the first kinds of streams that I've done gaming wise that keeps the politics frogs very highly entertained, because it does set up a lot of sequences similar to the Mafia or similar to like Sopranos, but funnier because we're fucking really bad. Someone described my roleplay as Sopranos meets Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But that's not what we're going to be doing right now. That's personal news stuff. We are going to go directly into... I wish you didn't stream as much so I can catch up on the RP. If you want to catch up on the roleplay, there's a Wikipedia page that's like a couple pages long, but you could easily catch up there. There's like... some of you guys are meticulous note takers, and my NoPixel Wikipedia page has a crazy amount of information on it. Like pretty much every single thing that's happened, my NoPixel fandom page has. Yeah, it's nuts. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but here it is. This is the NoPixel Wikipedia page with like literally every single thing that's gone on, including like getting away with it, you know, going on, meeting girls, the Porsche plan, and then even ending up with the murder of, well, not my first murder, but also my second murder as well. I've murdered 2 people already on the server, and that's like a rare occurrence because there's like actual punishments that's dished out for murder. Like you can go to jail, you can... Anyway, regardless, that's the personal news stuff. I'm going to tweet out to the Normans and welcome them into our home because the Senate impeachment trial is already here. So let's get started immediately. We're going to watch the Senate impeachment. I'm going to cut in and out of the impeachment trial if it gets like really boring or really sleeper. We'll talk about a bunch of other stuff that's going on, like the $1,400 stimmy talks and the minimum wage talks that are ongoing currently. Let the Normandy invasion begin. You know, let your friends know, let your family know. And here it is. Daycare is open. We are live. Daycare is open and open early for the Senate impeachment trials. We are live viewing it. So get in now. If it's sleeper, we shall move on. Go, go, go. www.twitch.tv/HasanAbi. Okay, there it is. There it is. There's that little weird thing that I do when I start doing an accent, and then it gets stuck in my head, and then it starts like slipping in to my regular conversations, which is really weird, but what are you gonna do?
After our country had ratified our Constitution, there was a senator from Tennessee by the name of William Blount who was caught conspiring with the British to try to sell Florida and Louisiana. Ultimately, President Adams caught him. He turned over the evidence to Congress. 4 days later, the House of Representatives impeached him. A day after that, this body, the United States Senate, expelled him from office. So he was very much a former official. Despite that, the House went forward with its impeachment proceeding in order to disqualify him.
Today is about the constitutionality of the argument, which will be a little bit more boring, as Chuck Todd said. And if Chuck Todd, I'm gonna be honest, if Chuck Todd says this is gonna be drier, then it's gonna be fucking dry. But it doesn't matter because the constitutionality of this conversation is completely intact. This is the most constitutional thing that you can do. I just tweeted that I'm live. Like, this is perhaps the most constitutionally sound argument that you can make if we don't have an argument for impeaching presidents even after their terms of run out. in an effort to make sure that they can't run again, for example, and also to set a precedent that you can't, I don't know, do an insurrection, then there is no reason for the Constitution, which, by the way, I don't really think. I don't really care. I think that the Constitution is garbage for the most part anyway. It's what you make of it. It's how you interpret it, and people usually bastardize it. It's like any sort of, it's like scripture at this point, right? So it is completely sound to make this argument. You can't make this argument anywhere else. People are going to try to say that this is a freedom of speech violation. I mean, what? Presidents can't just have the perfect rally. I mean, that's what Corey Lewandowski was saying on Newsmax. Completely fucking ridiculous argument. Impeachment is a political process. It's not like Donald Trump is going to jail for creating an insurrection. He's just being barred from ever serving ever again, and also going down in history as a president who has been impeached not once but twice, even though I don't believe that he will be convicted in the Senate regardless. Okay? I don't know. I do not think that he's going to get impeached. I think the Republicans are cowards, and every single day that we move away from the events that took place on January 6th, every single day that we move away from the events, it is less likely that Republicans will turn around and do the right thing. Never expect them to do the right thing out of a moral conviction, because these are demons. They are politicians. They have no morals. If they did, they probably would not be politicians. Let's be real. The more we move away from the events that took place, the more clouded the memory gets. We all have goldfish memories in the media. The media cycle is just like, 3 days of action at the very most, and then we forget about it. So that's what I believe. Everyone's afraid of the Pinche Trumpers. These politicians belong in Los Santos. Yes, I am early today. The reason why I'm early is because of this, because the impeachment trials are happening.
The Belknap case is clear precedent that the Senate must proceed with this trial, since it rejected pretrial dismissal, affirmed its jurisdiction, and moved to a full consideration of the merits. Now, Belknap ultimately was not convicted, but only...
Here, by the way, here is the impeachment schedule that looks like currently. There's going to be a 4-hour debate and vote on the trial constitutionality. And then after that, there's going to be a 16-hour presentation per side. Okay, there's going to be 16 hours allotted for a presentation for each side. And then 4 hours for questions, followed by the debate and a vote to call witnesses. And then finally, 4 hours of closing arguments. Now, that's why it's going to take a long time. This is going to be like a week-long process. It's not going to be a day or 2 days. It's going to be a little bit longer than that. So, but today is about the constitutionality and whether it's constitutionally intact or not, whether you can actually impeach a president for doing an insurrection, for causing an uprising, and also can you actually impeach a president for
very much
is it an impeachable offense to cause an uprising, which is funny to say like that, right? Like, but that's literally part of it. And is it constitutional to impeach someone who is no longer a sitting president? So those are the two things that that we're going to be discussing today. Okay? And it's bullshit because yes, it is of course completely constitutional. Is there a point to this impeachment? We all know what's going to happen. All the Democrats are going to vote A, and the Republicans, with maybe a few coming over, but not enough, and they aren't going to get the votes to keep him from running again. Just because something is unlikely should not prevent you from doing it. Especially if you believe in the institutions, and if you believe that like these institutions should have some form of legitimacy, and if you believe that like it should be on the record that Democrats at the very least tried to do the bare minimum, which is literally trying to impeach this person and then moving it on to the Senate, regardless of how demon-like the Republican Party is going to be, you shouldn't stop yourself. You should, one, absolutely push for the impeachment and make an argument as to why you should, And you should also apply public pressure on top of that to truly campaign behind forcing this impeachment conviction. You should. You absolutely should do that. And the reason why you absolutely should do that is because, like, and I mentioned this yesterday, you have to completely exert and exhaust every avenue you have in these sorts of situations in order to prevent a worse situation happening overall in the future, right? If you don't want another insurrection as president, then at the very least you should have a clear-cut precedent now, well established, that this President Donald Trump at the time, tried to push for an insurrection and he got impeached for it. So you can't do that, and that might not be completely effective in the long run. It probably won't be. Whoever is going to be the actual fascist and not just a proto-fascist like Donald Trump, who's just narcissistic, is going to say, fuck off, I don't give a shit, whatever, martial law declared, fuck you. But that should not prevent you from setting up yet another hurdle to make it as hard as possible for people to do these sorts of things in the future. I think the reason why you do something like this is to make sure that the state machinations are still at some level enforcing accountability. Whether it's bullshit accountability or not, it doesn't matter. Look at this 15K Andy with Trump derangement syndrome. Oh no. I hope my massage offer didn't creep you out. Ugh. Yeah. All right, let's start. So here are some highlights of what we saw already.
Mr. President, distinguished members of the Senate, good afternoon. My name is Jamie Raskin. It's my honor to represent the people of Maryland's 8th Congressional District in the House and also to serve as the lead House manager. And Mr. President, we will indeed reserve time for rebuttal. Thank you. Because I've been a professor of constitutional law for 3 decades, I know there are a lot of people who are dreading endless lectures about the Federalist Papers here. Please breathe easy, okay? I remember well W.H. Auden's line that a professor is someone who speaks while other people are sleeping. You will not be hearing extended lectures from me because our case is based on cold, hard facts. It's all about the facts. President Trump has sent his lawyers here today to try to stop the Senate from hearing the facts of this case. They want to call the trial over before any evidence is even introduced. Their argument is that if you commit an impeachable offense in your last few weeks in office, you do it with constitutional impunity.
He's right. I mean, that's basically what the Republicans are saying. Basically, what the Republicans are saying is like, you know, it's called God mode. In the end of your lame duck session, or in the end of your presidency in general, especially in the end of your lame duck session, you have what is known as God mode, where you can do whatever the fuck you want. And because, you know, they've previously argued that the presidents can't be fucking, it can't be criminally charged with anything while they're the president. They can't be, it's like a double bind where you can't be criminally charged with anything while you're president. Also, you can't really be impeached because there isn't time to impeach you. So, you know, the last week of your presidency, you can do whatever the fuck you want, okay? And that's hilarious because if there's one thing that the motherfucking framers cared about, it was tyranny, right? Like that is the mythological argument that those who have sex with the Constitution make all the time. Oh, this is all about tyranny. This is all about pushing against tyranny. And it's like, well, there is nothing more tyrannical than literally allowing the president to do whatever the fuck they want and tell people that it is actually constitutional for them to do whatever the fuck they want as long as it is in the tail end of their administration. It's nuts. By the way, Female streamers aren't the only ones who get fucking weirdo psychos like this. I just wanted to let you know. Like, you know, I ban fucking weirdo creeps as well.
You get away with it. In other words, conduct that would be a high crime and misdemeanor in your first year as president, and your second year as president, and your third year as president, and for the vast majority of your fourth year as president, you can suddenly do in your last few weeks in office without facing any constitutional accountability at all. This would create a brand new January exception to the Constitution of the United States of America.
It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. Hey,
thank you very much.
Hey, it's a cheat code, okay? It's literally God mode. You can do whatever the fuck you want in the last week of your presidency. And then they had a really long fucking video clips session that I watched, but there's a lot of stuff that's graphic in it, so I'm not going to go over it again. But you've already seen the videos. You've already seen most of the videos. I'm not going to show you the clips, but it's just like, it's literally all the fucking clips from that day put together. And it was just like, you know, like hog insurrection, gone sexual, oops, you know, social experiment, tried to get all my followers to storm the Capitol, gone sexual, that sort of thing. Like basically that was what it was. It was hogs gone wild. So show the damn clips. I want to see myself. I want to relive the memories, brother. It was great. It's a good visual timeline. I know, but we've already seen it like a million times on this show, man. I don't know what else you want. All right, we can watch it.
I love Pennsylvania. And we're going to the Capitol. So we're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania. And we're going to the Capitol. And we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help. We're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country. Get the fuck out of here, you
Majority Leader.
We're debating a step that has never been taken in American history.
Now, here's a two-parter. I got to mention this. So, Mitch McConnell is, well, he's kind of a piece of shit. Why is he a piece of shit? Well, we already know he's a piece of shit. He's the worst person. He's one of the worst people in the country. But Mitch McConnell very successfully pushed the impeachment trial beyond Donald Trump's. I mean, there was a multitude of different factors that played a role here, but McConnell also was one of the people that pushed the Senate impeachment to beyond Donald Trump's presidency. There was also the Cash Act and more important things going on at the time. And this would have taken priority over that. So I'm kind of glad that they did. I don't want the full longer version that's 13 minutes long. And yeah, I don't know where the fucking gunshot is. But before I continue on with this video, I got to hit that top of the hour, every hour, first ad of the day. Okay? So I'm going to run that right now. And hopefully, I don't know if it's in this one or not. But if you no longer want to see the ads, you already know. You can subscribe with your Twitch Primes and whatnot. Here's the ad.
President Trump claims the election was stolen. The assertions range from specific local allegations to constitutional arguments to sweeping conspiracy theories. But my colleagues, nothing before us proves illegality anywhere near the massive scale that would have tipped the entire election.
I'm loving him, brother. All I'm seeing are a bunch of patriots doing patriotic things. These cops must have been Antifa. Is this the one where no Trump, no peace? Is this the one where they show the insurgents reach the door of the House chamber? House members remain inside. Is this it? Representatives evacuate the floor of the House. Members of the House gallery are not able to get in until minutes later. Okay, I'll skip this part because there's like, they just straight up show. Oh, here. Oh, here it is. This is it. They're just basically showing it like, I understand. From what I understand. Damn, this is good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of videos that we haven't seen from before. Oh, they literally... Oh, they just showed Ashley Babbitt is shot and killed. Yeah, they literally just showed it. They just showed her, like, the events. I mean, it's here. I'll just show the moments before she gets shot and killed, but I won't show you the actual thing because I've never seen this video before. And there's no blood, but you see a Secret Service member with a gun. You see them breaking the window, and as soon as she goes over the window, boom. Like, immediately shot. They don't show any blood or anything, but still, I just want to be safe. Do they show her again? I saw the whole thing. There's no blood. It's just a gunshot, and then she falls. It's crazy that this video can be shown on C-SPAN, but not Twitch. I wish they'd give more leeway on news type videos. Yeah, I know, but I don't want to fuck it up. You know what's funny to me? You're here on Twitch preaching a socialist revolution. How bad the capitalist system is, where you're going anywhere except putting your qualified opinions out at the same time you're sitting home making meals a year. You aren't doing anything impactful with your money. Do not say, but I am donating to charity. What's going on today? Are there, did something happen where, like, there's a bunch of fucking weirdos? Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway. Yes, socialism means you have to be poor, and the poorer you are, the more socialist you are. Capella debate yesterday about the socialist and a capitalist society meme. Really? Ugh. 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 Anyway, let's keep going. I thought we purged most of the fucking weirdos from the community, but I guess not. Is there more blood? I'm still scared that they're gonna, like, go back to the Ashley Babbitt video or something. All right, well, there is no more blood here. Never mind. Okay.
Stay down! Get down!
Where the
Yeah, why aren't they here? You know, so we can ask them questions like, with my flex cuffs.
There's gotta be something in here we can fucking use against these scumbags.
That's what we fucking need to have 30,000 guns up here. That's true.
Okay. You say police officers are the 17th most dangerous jobs? Well, I'm a bootlicker. Well, bootlicker, easily the 28th most dangerous job. Now I ask you, what's your point? Bootlicking is a dangerous job too, brother. You might get it. You might get some kind of disease from polishing those boots. I think the Republican argument, and it depends on who the president is, and if it was a Democrat who did this, then the Democratic argument would be similar to this, can be reduced to this, okay? You cannot impeach my president no matter what. I'm not making like a brilliant take here. This is not brilliant analysis. This is not even unique. That's pretty much what they're saying always, okay? Like, because if this is not something that you can impeach a person over, then there's nothing you can impeach him over. Like, because the president is not going to literally go out and murder someone, and in which case, like, even if he did, he couldn't be criminally charged. And then you could also make the argument that, like, it's not an impeachable offense because an impeachment is a political trial regardless, right? And that's what that's all that they're doing. Meanwhile, yes, Bill Clinton was impeached for perjuring himself, lying about getting a blowjob. But even then, like, I don't know. It's wild that, like, now that I think about it, because the Clinton stuff, there is way more room to impeach him over, like, the actual acts that took place, the sexual transgressions that took place, rather than, like, lying about getting a blowjob. You know what I mean? But with Donald Trump, like, this is worthwhile. This is worthwhile. This is a absolutely impeachable offense.
We'll take down every one of these corrupt motherfuckers. Hang up!
At least 10 people lost their lives. More than 140 law enforcement officers suffered physical injuries, and many more have been severely impacted by the experiences that day. Oh, no. I'm so sad about the law enforcement officers that were severely impacted. Yeah. I'm sorry, sir. I'm a law enforcement officer, and I'll have you know that I wasn't able to beat the shit out of a disabled activist the next day for protesting for Medicare for all. I am Capitol PD, sir. And I was going to beat the fuck out of a PTSD veteran who was protesting to make sure that he could get benefits that were offered, that were promised to him. And I couldn't tactically ascertain his position and tase him appropriately in the kinetic action that we engaged in. And that is because of the Capitol riots, the insurgency that rendered me incapable. These guys are not normal cops. Yeah, they're still fucking terrible, though. It's kind of wild to assume that these guys aren't terrible. You just haven't been paying attention. Like, Capitol Hill police is not great. Like, they're not fucking nice guys, all right? Unless you've never seen how they behave when it's not fucking friendly fire with, like, hog-on-hog violence, and they're actually beating the fuck out of, like, disabled activists, as I've mentioned before, who are protesting Medicare for all, or Black Lives Matter protesters. I mean, their whole point is like they brutally suppress any sort of demonstration that occurs there. They are maybe a little bit lighter than the normal cops. And maybe they don't maybe they're not surrounded by 14-year-old black kids that they beat the shit out of, or, you know, maybe they don't kill enough dogs in comparison to like a regular precinct. You know what I mean? But they're still cops. And they do cop things. These are the things and events that happen when a sacred landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from the great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Go home with love and peace. Remember this day forever. Yeah, we will fucking remember this day forever, dumbass.
Senators, the president was impeached by the U.S. House of Representatives on January 13th for doing that. You ask what a high crime and misdemeanor is under our Constitution? That's a high crime and misdemeanor. If that's not an impeachable offense, then there is no such thing.
Yeah.
Defending your right to keep.
Here's Donald Trump, who had an opinion on impeaching past presidents after they are out of office. By the way, I got to show you this while I go grab a drink real quick.
We are defending your right to keep the doctor and to keep your plan. Remember President Obama, you can keep your plan, you can keep 28 times, you can keep your doctor. That didn't turn out very good. We should impeach him for that. Why are we impeaching him? 28 times you can keep your doctor. We should impeach President Obama. Democrats are now the party of high taxes, high crime, open borders, late-term abortion, socialism, and blatant corruption. The Republican Party is the party of the American worker, the American family, the American dream, and the late, great Abraham Lincoln, right? Abraham Lincoln. We are defending your right to keep the doctor.
I love that he makes the argument that you should be able to impeach a president after their term is done, right? For what? For what reason? Lying. And then immediately after, he's like, Obama lied, so we should impeach him. He turns around and starts lying immediately, which is hilarious. He's like, we should impeach presidents for lying. And then literally in the same breath starts lying. God, I miss him so much. I miss him so much. Every day. Like, he was such a piece of shit. I wish there was a way to, like, contain him so that his words didn't actually have impact and we could just look at him like performance art. Kind of like Alex Jones. The almost the exact same opinion I have of Alex Jones, where, you know, like, Alex Jones is a brilliant content creator, right? But unfortunately, in a country as fucked as the United States of America, Alex Jones is seen as the leader of a movement. He's seen as a revolutionary. People take him seriously. And that's why we can't have nice things. That's why we can't fucking look and laugh and enjoy Alex Jones, because some of the people that listen to Alex Jones then turn around and do crimes like harassing, doxing, and harming victims of school shootings and their family members. So, like, the same with Donald Trump, where he's a very entertaining reality TV star. He's narcissistic. He embodies everything that makes good TV. He embodies everything that makes good content. Right? But also, people take him seriously, and even more seriously than Alex Jones, because he literally had the bully pulpit. And therefore, they end up doing gross acts of violence and horrific things as they follow his lead. I love when immediately people rush to say, oh, saying I miss Donald Trump is such a privileged take. Yeah, dude. I know. You got me. Okay. I'm super privileged. Okay. I literally mean like I wish Donald Trump was president. That's what I mean. You fucking idiot. Are you happy? You showed everybody how fucking not privileged you are. Okay? Everybody now knows. Here you go. Let's all take a moment and and get excited for how fucking pathetic your life and your existence is. Are you happy, dude? You fucking got it. Woo! I'm glad that things are turning back to the annoying fucking like pre-2016 era where, you know, now that we can't criticize Joe Biden and stuff, now liberals have to clean house by just one-upping people and like getting caught up in the most uncharitable interpretation that things that people on the left say, to say like, oh, you're so privileged, sweaty, you must be homophobic and also hate like, you know, DACA immigrants or something. Of course, saying that on twitch.tv of all fucking places puts you in the top 0.1% of privilege across the board from a worldwide scale, but who knows? Nature is healing.
For abuses he committed as an official, arising from an impeachment that occurred while he was an official, poses absolutely no risk whatsoever of subjecting a private citizen to impeachment for their private conduct. To emphasize the point, President Trump was impeached while he was in office for conduct in office, period. The alternative, once again, is this January exception, in which our most powerful officials can commit the most terrible abuses and then resign to leave office and suddenly claim that they're just a private citizen who can't be held accountable at all. In the same vein, President Trump and his lawyers argue that he shouldn't be impeached because it will set a bad precedent for impeaching others.
Yeah, it would be a bad precedent to impeach a president for doing an insurrection. So that would be a bad precedent. And therefore, we can't do it in the future. That would be something bad. It's like saying you'd be setting a bad precedent for jailing me after I murdered someone. What the fuck do you mean? You murdered someone, idiot. Like, we can talk about rehabilitation over incarceration, but like, you still need to be contained, dumbass. There has to be some fucking accountability. What is this? I thought we were a fucking nation of laws, dude.
That we shall ever unlimber the clumsy and bulky monster piece of ordnance to take aim at an object from which all danger has gone by, end quote. President Trump's case, though,
come on, think about all the times that I didn't murder.
Has not gone by. His threat to democracy makes any prior abuse by any government official pale in comparison. Moreover, allowing his conduct to pass without the most decisive response would itself create an extraordinary danger to the nation, inviting further abuse of power and signaling that the Congress of the United States is unable or unwilling to respond to insurrection incited by the president.
I mean, come on, though. Like, now that he has no fucking power, how sweet would it be if we could get some Trump tweets right now? God, I'm an addict. I am an addict. I have to admit. Like, I need a little bit. I need just a little tiny hit, dude. Just a baby hit. And then I'm done. I'm done.
This is the rare case in which love of the Constitution and commitment to our democracy required the House to impeach. It's for the same reason the Senate can and must try this case. Next, President Trump will assert that it somehow is significant or it matters that the Chief Justice isn't presiding over this trial.
Will Republicans mention that this is cancel culture? That's what I want to know. Will they fucking bring out the cancel culture defense for this of all things? Because you know they're already doing this is unconstitutional, which is a classic defense. Going against Republicans means you're unconstitutional, okay? They own patriotism, they own the Constitution, they own the military, okay? And going against those things means, or going against Republicans means you literally hate God, hate the military, and hate the American Constitution. Just know that. So I wonder, because they kind of also have successfully crafted the narrative that like everything the left engages in is technically cancel culture sweaty. I wonder if they'll be able to do that. Like, everyone deserves a mulligan.
So there isn't that concern when you have a former president on trial, or for that matter, when you have anyone on trial other than the current president, which is why the Chief Justice presides only in that single case, and why this is exactly the presiding officer the Constitution and the Senate rules require. As a fallback, President Trump and his lawyers may argue today that he should get a free pass on inciting an armed insurrection against the United States government and endangering Congress because, as he would put it, this impeachment is somehow unconstitutional. So far as I understand it from reading the pleadings in this case, this defense involves cobbling together a bunch of meritless legal arguments, all of them attempting to focus on substance rather than jurisdiction, and insisting that these kitchen sink objections lead the Senate to not try the case. Since they may raise these points at this juncture, I feel obliged really to address them. He may argue, for example, that he didn't receive enough process in the House, even though the House proceedings are more like a grand jury action, which is followed later by trial in the Senate with a full presentation of evidence. Even though the evidence of his high crimes and misdemeanors is overwhelming and supported by a huge public record, even though we're going to put that evidence before you at this trial, and even though have a full and fair opportunity to respond to it before all of you.
It feels strange that as a political frog, I find myself wanting RP gaming now over politics.
Have already been charged for their role in attacks that the president incited. And even though we invited him to voluntarily come here and testify and tell his story, a request, as you know, that his lawyers immediately refused, presumably because they understood what would happen if he were to testify under oath. Regardless, President Trump's process arguments are not only wrong on their own terms, but they're also completely irrelevant to the question of whether you should hold this trial. That question is answered by the Constitution, and the answer is yes. In addition, separate from his due process complaints, President Trump and his counsel, particularly his counsel, have boasted on TV that to counter the undisputed evidence of what actually happened in this case, you'll see video clips. They'll show video clips of other politicians, including Democratic politicians, using what they consider incendiary language. Apparently, they think this will establish some sort of equivalency, or that it will show in contrast that President Trump's statements at the Save America rally weren't so bad. Like so much of what President Trump's lawyers might say today, that's a gimmick. It's a parlor game meant to inflame partisan hostility and play on our divisions. So let me be crystal clear. President Trump was not impeached because the words he used, viewed in isolation, without context, were beyond the pale. Plenty of other politicians have used strong language. But Donald J. Trump was president of the United States. He sought to overturn a presidential election that had been upheld by every single court to consider it. He spent months insisting to his base that the only way he could lose was a dangerous, wide-ranging conspiracy against them and America itself. He relentlessly...
Okay, this is boring. All right, so let's go to something actually fun and funny. Marjorie Taylor Greene. As the impeachment trial starts, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is just a fucking queen, dude. You have to admit, she's just a queen, all right? My new queen. Rips the Capitol rioters who ruined the objection plans. She said that actually she was very upset, scared, and terrified on January 6th, which is great. I love that. This person is so awesome. She is such a fucking scumbag, dude. She is such a fucking scumbag, dude. Marjorie Taylor Queen, dude. Oh my lord. She's like I was wondering if there's another person that would trigger something within me like Matt Gaetz does. That fucking used car salesman Matt Gaetz, who just he just literally they just like look evil for some fucking weird reason. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is that person. Okay, she is just the fucking worst. Like, just a unique specimen. Okay, and now she's saying after she was voted to be removed from her committee positions by the Democrats in a gross attack against democracy, of course, she said that she would be forever grateful to her Republican colleagues who bravely helped the police protect us and block the door. They courageously risked their lives against the attackers trying to get in. Like, now she is standing in opposition with the attackers. Dog, if you were not fucking elected, because America is a fucking broken country fundamentally, if you were not elected, you would literally be leading that insurrection from outside the house. Okay? Let's be real. Marjorie Taylor Greene and that fucking Boebert chick from Colorado are the two, like, they are the two prime candidates for flying in. They have disposable income. They're small business tyrants. They want to fuck Donald Trump, which is very weird. It's the weirdest thing you can ever fucking ever see. They are the prime candidates for being caught at that insurrection. Okay? Someone called her a joke in front of her face? Oh, yeah, I remember this. This is an old one.
You are a joke. Have a good one. Have a good one. You are a joke.
Like, this staffer, like, you're like 26 years old, okay? You went to fucking Cornell. You got a political science degree. Your father plays golf with some, your father's in the same golf club with some other fucking Republican senators and shit. So then you get a goddamn fucking job with Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay? And now this is what you have to do with your life. What a fucking loser. Okay? Jesus Christ. Like, you have to fucking shove cameras away from random people. You have to defend Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, that is now your job. How pathetic. You fucking loser. And here's the reality. Nothing is going to happen to her. She's probably going to keep rolling forward. She's probably going to fail upwards. Because Republicans don't care. If you're a winner, it doesn't matter how much of a scumbag you are. It doesn't matter what you believe in. As long as you're a fucking winner, you're fine. I'm living in Boebert's district temporarily on my dad's house in Colorado. Her district is beautiful, but so many hoggers. Really? Of course. Like, what are the events that took place in your life to lead you down a path where you're getting mad at, like, 18-year-old congressional staffers and, like, pushing cameras away in an effort to defend your hobbit congressional representative that you work for?
You are a joke. Have a good one. Have a good one. You are a joke. I'm looking forward to Ossoff winning. I do appreciate America.
Hey, now, jobs aren't easy to come by these days. I mean, first of all, if you're on the fucking hill, those jobs are only given to people that have that are there to that have been bred for that position. Okay, like, they are literally the definition of easy to come by. Those jobs are. There is not a there's more nepotism there than fucking Hollywood, dude. Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind, dude? You think you can get a fucking You think you can get a staffer job like that? No, those jobs, you only get those jobs if your dad plays golf with like the Secretary of State or some shit. Yeah, just go to Indeed.com and then scale up to 68,000. Green is a bigger delta than you, bro, and maybe a smaller head. Okay, don't do the fucking phrenology shit. Yes, she has that thick Neanderthal skull, but that's besides the point. She does though. She got that fucking the what is it, like the Cro-Magnon or whatever? What is it called when you got that fucking crazy forehead? Oh. I like gun. I like shooting gun. I hate socialism. Me Marjorie Taylor Greene. Me strong. Me shoot. Me shoot gun. Me scared of Muslim lady. That's what she sounds like. Anyway, what a fucking loser. Oh, God. Wow, this guy's still going.
Once all the evidence is before you by delivering justice. Thank you.
Me like gun. Fire stick good. Be careful. Marjorie Taylor Greene will start insulting you on Twitter. What's she going to do? I've called her fucking inbred multiple times on Twitter before.
About the stakes of this decision, whether President Trump can stand trial and be held to account for inciting insurrection against us.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is more fucking inbred than Moon Moon's character in NoPixel RP.
The Capitol Police, the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police, the National Guard, maintenance and custodial crews, the print journalists and TV people who were here, and all of our families and friends. And I hope this trial reminds America how personal democracy is, and how personal is the loss of democracy, too. Distinguished members of the Senate, my youngest daughter, Tabitha, was there with me on Wednesday, January 6th.
Officer Hawk to you, bud.
It was the day after we buried her brother, our son, Tommy, the saddest day of our lives. Also, there was my son.
Okay, I don't care. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's sad. I don't care. I'm gonna keep it real. I like the situation is as ridiculous as it is. Like, you don't have to fucking like. Just stop. They're politicians. Stop. I'm sorry. No, it's like, look. I don't know why they're talking about this stuff. I think, like, I'm not saying that it's I don't care that their son died. I'm saying, like, I don't care about the fucking trial at this stage. Okay, you understand? Stop trying to like tie that back to the personal trauma that he is going through when I'm talking about the Senate impeachment process and what he's talking about in that process. Like, when you want a cooking recipe with a person's life stories in front of it, yeah, I just don't know. Doesn't care because Trump will win. Yeah, dude, it's great. Trump will always win because there's always fucking moronic fans that think he won regardless of what happens. Like, what do you mean Trump will win? Trump lost already. Like, he lost the election. He took the most L's, like record-breaking number of L's, because it's like he lost the election over and over again. Every time he contested it and then he lost in court, it's like he took 64 L's in the courtroom, and then also on top of that, he took L's over and over again. It's like it was on repeat. They were just getting slapped. It was like a turnstile with dildos attached to it, with like just cocks hitting the face of fucking every Trump supporter over and over again. And they're like, ah, we're going to win this time. We're going to win this time. We're going to win this time. It's just like, it was great for the past like couple of months. It was just like watching a turnstile with cocks attached to it, slapping the fucking face of Republicans over and over again. No one has ever taken more L's in the history of fucking L's than Donald Trump. And the worst part is that he lost to a corpse. Okay? He lost to Joseph Robinette Biden, who is literally a fucking walking corpse. I actually think AOC talking about her trauma was kind of reliving for a lot of people experiencing trauma themselves. It's not always political. Lindsey Graham and I play Magic the Gathering at the same store. Why is everybody saying Magic the Gathering? Like, shut up. Oh, because Marjorie Taylor Greene, that's why. Unrelated, but Norway responded to the Super Bowl ad. Oh, okay, let's watch this. This is funny. This is probably going to be very funny. All right, I'll take a look at this. What are my fellow countrymen and women doing in Norway?
Holy mackerel. Olaf!
This just arrived for you. It smells like fishy.
I don't care. The Americans are coming, and Will Ferrell does not look happy.
What do we do?
We have to make a public apology, and we have to get rid of anything else that might make Will envy us in any way. If he gets so annoyed about our electric vehicles, I can't imagine how he'll react to all the other stuff.
All right. Action.
Dear Mr. Ferrell, dear General Motors, on behalf of our university and the rest of Norway, we are truly sorry. We want to maintain a strong and sound relationship with the United States. And of course, we shouldn't have become the leading country in the world when it comes to electrical vehicles.
By the way, when you see actual Norwegians speak English, do you now understand that my accent isn't like all that bad? I swear to God. Because it's such a unique accent that like most people are like, oh, dude, you're just exaggerating. But like, this is kind of how they speak, you know? It's like this. It's not bad. Sorry.
Without checking with you first. And we fully understand that you want to punch us in the face. But our collaboration with you is of utmost importance. Our student exchange, for instance.
I pay tuition.
Again.
I pay tuition?
One more time.
I pay tuition.
Good.
But I don't pay tuition. Education in Norway is free, even for us Americans.
What are you saying? You need to stop this now. You are giving the game away. Americans must not know about free college education.
Well, I know that, but Will Ferrell does not have to know. We also hope that we can continue our extensive research collaboration with many American universities. We collaborate, for instance, with the University of...
Good afternoon, Rector. I was hoping I could talk to you about our battery research. You know that project that uses clean, renewable hydropower to recycle and reuse batteries from electric vehicles?
Okay, but we'll have to talk about this later. This is really not a good time.
Okay.
Are they really not going to flex about healthcare?
What we're trying to say is that if you want
See
to
you at the opening of the battery factory then.
Yes. What we're trying to say is that if you want to become the #1 country in the world when it comes to electrical vehicles, we won't stand in your way. We'll even help you and co-create the knowledge you need. Excuse me. Hello?
Hi, Rector. I just wanted to say goodbye, and then I'll see you next year. I'm off for my 1-year paid maternity leave.
Oh, fuck you! Oh, that's a fucking flex and a half, dude. What? Oh my God. What do you mean? In Norway, we actually pop the baby at the workplace? It maximizes efficiency?
That.
Not sorry.
Well, I bet she also had to pay $1 million to get the baby out. That is the trick in Norway. This is fucking sad, dude. Dude, they went like half as hard as they could have gone. I talked about this yesterday. Like, I talked about this yesterday, where it's like, whenever European Social Democrats watch me from fucking Europe, they look at me and laugh at how insane Americans are. Even like American liberals who get mad at me and say like, you're a radical commie for wanting socialized medicine, or you're a radical commie for wanting to nationalize our extraction industry and focusing on renewable energies initiatives. And maximizing efficiency for both batteries and renewable energy initiatives in general, like by using some of the profits from that recently nationalized extraction industry, right? Or pushing for full, complete fucking like 100% collective bargaining agreement protection for our entire labor force. These are things that are normal in these sorts of countries. But when I pitch them here in America, I'm being divisive, I'm being crazy, and I am the equivalent of Marjorie Taylor Greene, but on the left. That's how it works, okay? You can't even have a capitalist social democracy here in the United States. You just can't. There's no mixed economy. It has to be this. This insane subsidy-backed fossil fuel extraction for the mega wealthy, and everyone who's poor gets to live in horrible conditions because otherwise we would be vuvuzeller. There's so much that sucks about the United States. I mean, yeah, Los Santos, which is a city that is, I would say, run with a tape and strings. Like that's like being held together by glue and tape and strings and shoestrings. Has a better healthcare process where you don't get charged $7 gorillion for getting helicopter evac from a mountaintop. And you pay $100 every time you go and you get healthcare. No, I'm not going to run for mayor, by the way. I've decided I want to do crimes. And I feel like if I did mayor and then important things happened in the world and I wasn't able to do like my mayoral duties, I think it would be it would be disrespectful to the RP server in general and all those other people who could probably do a better job and like focus on it and actually do the things that like that duty entails. I could be a crooked mayor too. I'm just saying that, like, let's say some crazy shit happens and I can't tune in to the RP server because I'm covering the news or whatever. What's gonna happen then for a week? Because you're a mayor for 2 fucking weeks. I don't want to do that. Become a crime lord, then abolish all crime organizations that end crime. Anyway, you should still run, but you wouldn't actually enjoy being the mayor, I don't think. It'd step up plot lines for you. It'd set up plot lines for you. Yeah. What is the catch for Norway though? Like, what is expensive there? The catch is that everyone pays a fuckload more in taxes. Okay, the middle class pays a fuckload more in taxes, and the mega wealthy pay a fuckload more in taxes. That's it. That's literally it. It is at the heart of this entire social contract, this bargain where you give money to your government and then your government works for you. Okay? Norway also has the other catch is that they have, they have oil. But regardless, I mean, they have massive oil wealth, but regardless of their massive oil wealth, like we have a shitload of natural resources too. What are you talking about? Like, Norwegian taxes and healthcare is approximately equal to USA taxes and healthcare. Oh, you mean after you get like your average healthcare on top of the taxes that you pay? That doesn't surprise me. What about way less immigration? Brother, that concept is so silly. Because you make it seem as though, like, undocumented immigrants, for example, don't pay fucking taxes or evade taxes. First of all, that's not even true, okay? It is a factual statement to say that undocumented immigrants actually give more in taxes than they take out of resources because they literally are not able to take advantage of certain programs, okay? And two, more importantly than that, part of the reason why they can't fully pay everything in taxes beyond like sales taxes and things like that is literally because they are purposely outside of the system. They are pushed outside of the system. If they had the rights that regular citizens had, undocumented immigrants, then they would be paying into the system. It's silly to say that socialism or some form of like social democracy can't work with immigration coming in when economies scale. It does. There is no the homogenous argument is dumb, especially when talking about like socialist countries that are also homogenous, and yet you wouldn't make that argument about fucking Venezuela, right? Like, Venezuela is just as homogenous as fucking Norway. Venezuela also has nationalized their extraction industry. Why do you think Venezuela and Norway did not have the same fate? Maybe because one is a country that we can fuck with, the other is not. They're not homogenous because they are not white. Yeah, exactly. Unless you literally mean like homogenous means white ethno state. Because I think that's what you mean. Sorry, also African nation too. Those are incredibly diverse countries, okay? But you know, they're homogenous because they're all black, brother. That's why they're homogenous. Everyone who's black is one race. Everyone who's white is one race. There's no other distinction to be made about, you know, their point of view or anything like that. And black ethno states don't work well, and white ethno states do. Oh, I made my worldview. I based my worldview off of that. Norway, Venezuela, bad take. Why is that a bad take? The only factor of how white your country is, the only time that factors in to your country's success or future in the global marketplace is that whiteness historically is associated with whether you are going to be colonized or you are going to be the colonizer. And therefore, in Norway, you are not being colonized. You are not a product of like American imperialism in the same way that fucking Venezuela would be. And those who say Ireland literally miss out on the part where when Ireland was colonized, if you will, they were not considered fucking white. People always fucking talk about like the literally most diverse countries on earth are in Africa. I know, that's why I mentioned, that is precisely why I mentioned how chuds incorrectly always say like Africa's not diverse. Look at how bad they're doing because it's a black ethnicity. It's like, first of all, they're diverse as fuck, motherfucker. Diversity has nothing to do with this. Like, it is not like there needs to be some level in the absence of like complete internationalism. There needs to be some form of national cohesion and national identity. I agree with that. People get mad at me for saying this even. You get that through your public education system. You get that through, in some ways, a military and fucking idiotic symbolic shit that people get on board with. But, but having said that, beyond that, the ethnic background of people or their cultures or their identities can be a good thing and not necessarily a bad thing. There's no multiculturalism isn't a bad thing. It's not a failed project. It's not a bad thing overall. Part of the reason why American culture, which is geared by mass consumption, unfortunately, but has like a lot of good things and would be boring and bland without immigration, is because of multiculturalism. Tex-Mex is multiculturalism. I'm going to use food as an example because it's the one that people can immediately understand. British cuisine would be dog shit without multiculturalism. American cuisine would be dog shit without multiculturalism. That's just the reality. And it's not the end all be all, but it's a good way to show that like incorporating culture is a necessity. And also it is an ahistoric approach to assume that multiculturalism has not occurred, or that like Western civilization is supreme, because without the Chinese and gunpowder, the invention of gunpowder, we would not be where we're at. Without trading and without wars, we would not be where we're at, because culture isn't unique to an individual area. It's just technological achievements growing as a consequence of human beings interacting with one another. I guess Africa has some of the most homogenous and some of the least homogenous countries. Fish and chips literally came from Jews that immigrated from Spain because of persecution law. I did not know that. American cuisine equals fry it, brother. Very good show on Netflix about incorporating food in U.S. culture called Taste the Nation with Padma Lakshmi. It's a very good show explaining exactly what you said. Anyway, while multicultural is prolific in the U.S. because immigrants are being exploited for free labor. What? Multiculturalism is prolific in the United States because of our immigration policies, especially for just any matter of ethnic background for a very long time, with notable exceptions of people that you want to exclude from the country, people that like people like those in power wanted to exclude from the country. That's where American multiculturalism comes from, not just the chattel slavery. Where do you draw the line between multiculturalism and cultural appropriation? What? I think that the cultural appropriation argument is overall really fucking stupid, with notable exceptions like blackface or wearing fucking traditional like Native American head garb or shit like that. Like multiculturalism revolves around cultural appreciation. This is Russian civ is who just said Russian civilization is older than China? Can you explain the racist implications of the argument that homogenous nations have fewer domestic issues? Well, there are plenty of nations that you would consider homogenous in a similar capacity to Norway that have a fuckload of issues. And yet, when faced with that question, people will say, well, then that's a different culture. The reality is culture in that circumstance is a substitute for race. That's all that they're saying. It means that like white homogenous cultures are fine, and the less white your culture is, the more problems you face.
Tried to jump into action. That is not backed up by some contemporaneous counts, even from the president's closest allies. Keep in mind that Senator Lindsey Graham, just within days of the attack happening, within a couple of days, somebody who has been a pretty loyal supporter of the former presidents, although...
Bad take about cultural appropriation? Yeah, I don't care. I literally don't care. I think it's, for the most part, cultural appropriation is a problem that you could absolutely eradicate by offering material equality to those marginalized communities. Absolutely zero people would be fucking crying about cultural appropriation if they had a base level of material equality, i.e. were treated like the dominant in-group, i.e. white, okay? And the perfect example of this is fucking Irish people and Italian people in America, or even fucking Polish people in America. You don't see Irish people and Italian people fucking crying about anti-Italian or anti-Irish racism, and the reason for why they don't cry about it is because they no longer are fucking seen as the other and are literally a part of the white working class, and also get the many benefits of that sort of privilege that it brings of being a part of the dominant in-group. Okay, if black people had eradicated their gross material inequality that they've been subjected to, they wouldn't be fucking complaining about this sort of thing. So I don't care overall about like this conversation either side. I think either side of the conversation is silly for the most part. Have you never met an Italian person before? Okay, sorry. I meant like it's not serious when you fucking make those jokes. Which is why I can make those jokes. Like my RP character, Umberto Donato Pecorino. It's a laughable, it is such a laughable concept that, like we literally started everything that we are, everything that we joke about in terms of like Fredo being equivalent to the N-word is literally a consequence of how silly that comparison is. I'm confused. Not starting to start shit, but you're saying that the issue is material needs not being met, which I agree with. You're recognizing that those needs aren't being met, so isn't this an issue? It's like getting fucking upset at, okay. It's like people engaging in like campaigns about not addressing or not issuing a fucking trigger warning. I went full screen because I don't know what's going to be in the background. There was some, TOS scenes in the Capitol that they're showing. It's like people focusing on really stupid, really marginal things and engaging in overcorrective behavior, which I abhor and fucking shit on all the time, because they are powerless and they recognize their powerlessness because structural issues are impossible to fucking solve from where we're standing. Okay? It is the same exact principle. It's the same exact mentality that is applied to this issue as well. Yes, I will be playing NoPixel later. What do you think about Jake and Bake doing a Japanese accent for his RP? Why would I fucking shit on that? I do Japanese accents all the time. I've said this before. If you're doing non-white accents, then you have to either be really fucking good or not do it, because then it's going to be fucking racist as shit. With exceptions, of course. The accent can't be the joke. Yeah, I don't sus take for real. LMFAO. Dog. English, while this might come as a surprise to you, but English is not my fucking second language. Shut the fuck up, okay? Please. Like, you just say you fucking despise people laughing and move on. You just do not like laughter. You think life is pain and everybody else should also experience that fucking pain. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, accent policing is so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Oh, English. Oh, I meant English is not my first language. English is my second language. Just fucking, you know, dial it back. Take a breather. See if it actually hurts you. See if it actually upsets you when you see someone do an accent. Now, there's a difference, of course. Still, and which is why I say you have to be good at it. You have to be fucking decent at it at least. Because if you're bad at it, it could come across as like you just doing like, haha, look at how different Japanese people are at speaking English. They can't speak. Isn't that funny? And you don't want that because that is kind of fucking mean. Buddha's character is amazing. While he has the accent, his character is not at all a stereotypical joke. He has depth and nuance. I'm very impressed with the large majority of NoPixel RPers. Yeah, Buddha's a great example of this. Buddha is a Chinese man, but he's not a Chinese man in real life. I said he's black once, and you guys got mad at me and said he's not black and he's Brazilian. But you can be black and Brazilian. I don't know. If, maybe he's not. I don't know. But I'm telling you, you're not offensive enough. I need more hand movements. I tried to fucking do more hand movements. He does not sound Chinese. I mean, he's not. Chang plays a Chinese character, but he isn't either. My immigrant parents love when white people wear Indian clothes and eat our food. Like, cultural appropriation is literally just a reactionary Western idea. Nobody outside of here actually cares. Yeah, it's the same with fucking Turks, too. I've had this conversation before, right? Back in the day when I had like a way more woke, way more rad lib audience, before I got on Twitch, I wore a fucking kimono that I wear from time to time on my Instagram. And people were like, I can't believe you're doing this. Like, this is so disrespectful to the Japanese. Like, my culture is not your prom dress type beat, you know? And I was like, I'm going to look into this. Like, is this really offensive? And I searched it, and I found out that actually the kimono manufacturers, the traditional kimono manufacturers in Kyoto, were super on board with it. People had actually conducted studies on this, and like asked Japanese people if they liked Americans and other people like wearing their fucking kimonos and shit. They loved it, okay, and that as a consequence of like even Louis Vuitton and all these other designer houses incorporating the kimono into their lineups and those patterns and whatnot into their lineups, they had. First of all, I'm not saying I did my own research, dumbass. I'm literally talking about actual empirical evidence, you stupid fucks. Okay? It's entirely different than me being like, I did my own research. I saw someone I thought was Japanese. He said he was Taiwanese, but it doesn't matter. They're all the same to me. So that's my research on Facebook. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I literally fucking looked at empirical evidence on this shit, on the subject. And so you get some data that confirms your bias, and now it makes appropriation okay. Yes, that's precisely what I'm saying. In a moment of understanding, especially as someone who is not like originally American, and someone who would never be like, I can't believe these guys are doing like Turkish culture or some shit. I wanted to understand if this was legitimately like different for other cultures, if they truly got upset, right? And not only the Japanese people did not find that to be offensive at all, they appreciated it. The manufacturers in Kyoto, who were in a dying business otherwise, benefited from it, as in their own words. Apparently, it like revitalized their industry to a degree. And yeah, it's not a fucking thing that people get upset at. It's more so a thing that like young Asian Americans might be upset at. Over older Asian Americans and just like Asian people in general. Okay. Kuming is stolen Turkish value. You can't change my mind. My only problem with cultural appropriation is when you disregard the original culture. It's like the "this is mine" meme. I feel like cultural appropriation just reinforces the idea that cultures are stagnant and don't change, implying that cultures don't borrow or adopt from one another. Yeah, I just think it's stupid. Am I wrong, or is complaining and gatekeeping appropriation a very conservative stance? I don't. It's like it's a really stupid argument. Hey, you stupid fuck. Kimono isn't accent. The issue in Breakfast at Tiffany's isn't the costume, it's the presentation of trash version of a people's culture. I don't even know what you're referencing, but if you're talking about like a racist fucking depiction of an Asian person by a white person, that's entirely different. I'm not saying like, oh, you can do doing accents in a role-playing scenario is not the same as like fucking taping your fucking eyes and like wearing a fucking rice farmer's hat and saying shit like ching chong ding dong. It's entirely different. Like one is literally fucking yellow face. The other is just like you're doing an accent as best as you possibly can in a character that you're creating. And again, it's mostly just fucking Americans who cry about this shit. I'm sorry. It's just the fucking truth, dude. It's like the Latinx conversation over and over again. It's like, it is literally Americans fucking crying about this. And everywhere else around the world, all these people that you're infantilizing or supposedly protecting the culture of, they don't give a fuck. They don't understand it. They think you're fucking weird. You come across like a fucking white person who's like walking up to black people and be like, "Can I polish your boots, please? I apologize. I'm so sorry for fucking slavery." Like, what are you protecting there? You think you think fucking centuries of slavery, rape, genocide all of a sudden is going to be excused by you fucking polishing this single individual's boots? No. Advocate for fucking some other form of restitution or push for material equality for black people instead of fucking doing these cringe and completely self-centered forms of performative, overcorrective, woke actions. I don't think cultural appropriation arguments oftentimes get to that level. So, all I will say in this circumstance is, why don't you appropriate some fucking bitches, dude? Really bad take, to be honest. Yeah, okay, we'll keep ending racism by yelling at people on Twitter because they fucking appropriated culture. I think you will do a better job that way. You're right. And remember that you're literally talking to someone, again, you as an American person who believes that you have some sort of like ethnic identity beyond that, who have been in this country for fucking, I don't know how many generations at this point, are telling a Turkish person who is a product of cultural appropriation, I guess, or cultural assimilation to some degree, that they are fucking wrong. Just remember that. Just put that in your fucking dense American skulls every time you fucking cry about this shit to a goddamn immigrant. Okay? Holy shit. Which is the heart of my criticism and complaints.
You could do that. They're just men and women like you are. Well, then Everett Dirksen tells us that they're not. They're gallant, men and women that do extraordinary things when their country needs them to do it. United States senators really are different. And I have been around United States senators before. Two of them in this room from Pennsylvania, I like to think, are friendly toward me, or at least friends of mine when we're not politically adverse. And I have been around their predecessors. And one thing I have discovered, whether it be Democrats or Republicans, United States senators are patriots first. Patriots first. They love their country. They love their families. They love the states that they represent. There isn't a member in this room who has not used the term.
Let's culturally appropriate coal and bring back that industry. If you think cultural appropriation was good because it benefited the capitalist business structure of kimono sellers, LMAO. Yes, you're right. That was the argument that I was making, because kimono manufacturers are fucking destroying the environment in a similar way to fucking coal manufacturers. Do you purposely fucking bludgeon yourself with a hammer before you make an argument on Twitch? In order to win an argument, you don't have to become a stupid person, okay? A more stupid person than you actually are. Moron.
You know, I feel...
If you like the Kyoto manufacturers of kimonos, well, why don't we bring the racism industry back? Fucking got them, dude! Oh, why don't we just fucking build a racism factory then? Because it's gonna make the racism industry bloom. Sick, dude. Sick burn.
When you're home in your state, they will say, you know, I talked to my senator, or I talked to somebody on the staff of my senator. It's always my senator. Why is it that we say my senator? We say that because the people you represent are proud of their senators. They absolutely feel that connection of pride, because that's not just Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania. That's my senator from Pennsylvania. Or Bob Casey from Scranton. That's my senator. And you like that. People like that. The people back home really do.
You know what I noticed? You're much more calm when you're caught up in a murderous scandal of a missing person while forcing a young kid to commit murder than you are when you're covering politics. Yes, I know, because I was built for that. I wore an Ao Dai, Vietnamese cultural clothing, to celebrate Lunar New Year at the temple with my friends and family. And I was hijabi at the time, and everyone there was so excited to see me participate in their culture. It's literally only white people who are always mad about this stuff. Same thing happened to me when my friends participate in Turkish culture. It makes me so happy to see it happen. Yeah. Another part of that is, of course, though, because like Turkey and the Ottoman Empire was an empire itself. You can say the same thing about Japan, too. You can say the same thing about China as well. I've thought about this a lot. I think that if you were a dominating cultural force in the world historically, then you have less of an argument to make about being oppressed in terms of like someone stealing your culture and appropriating it and making money off of it. Whereas black people are not in that situation, overwhelmingly so. And then also on top of that, we still live in an age where like black girls can't wear their natural hair to fucking school. Meanwhile, we celebrate white people that are doing so in the news. And that understandably is going to cause anger within certain fucking communities, especially when those communities have been dealt a bad hand systemically. So I totally understand that. But when you extend that argument to like other shit, you know what I mean? The other shit from other cultures that most people are just like celebrating and commoditized only as a consequence of capitalism, regardless, then you're being a little ridiculous. Not a little ridiculous. You're being overcorrective and fucking boring. In terms of cultural appropriation, please speak for your own personal experience, chat, and not make blanket statements. And there is one other area here that we are not mentioning, and that is, there's one other area that we're not mentioning that is like, look, multiculturalism is a beautiful thing. I clearly fucking love it. I mean, it can't go too far, like fusion cuisine, which I think is abhorrent and should be illegal, with exceptions, of course. But if you're making a sushi burrito, you go to jail. Sorry, that's just, I make the rules now, and that's a rule that I would make. Not Tex-Mex. That shit is delicious. But sushi burrito, jail. So, you know, kebab on a pizza, jail. And Indian pizza, double jail, under the jail. What the fuck is Indian pizza? Oh my God. Why did you put that in my head? Why did you put that in my head? Why would you do that? Oh no. Motherfuckers are out here putting curry on pizza? No, 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 no. I love Indian food and I love pizza. Oh my God, just like I love kebab and I love pizza, but some things are not meant to be, some things are not meant to be fused, okay? Anyway, the point I was trying to make... Indian pizza is on the rise in America. I forgot what the fuck the point I was going to make because curry pizza just broke me. It's over. I will never recover that memory now because now that memory has been replaced by the thought that curry pizza exists on the planet. Brother, it's not whites putting Indian food on the pizza. Yeah, no, I know that. Just like it's not fucking Swedish people that originally were like, let's put this kebab on a pizza. It was some Turkish motherfucker who immigrated. Okay? 100%. Like, Abi, bro, this will be good. Why not? Why don't we do this? You know, these Swedish, they will like it. Come on. Everybody likes kebab, bro. We have all this kebab. It's not selling in the same way. We gotta do like, you know, pizza or something. It's like lahmacun amına koyayım. It's not curry pizza, you dingus. It's putting tandoori chicken. Anyway. So, I don't know how we got here, but... Oh, multiculturalism is good overall, but it's not without problems. Like... There's going to be growing pains when you are of a different culture and you're coming into America. There's always going to be growing pains. Some of that is going to be people engaging in microaggressions and shit like that. Okay? As long as it is not with harmful intent. And there's even a level of, and every immigrant will tell you this, including myself. There's a level of harmful intent that we all put up with. It's just going to happen. Okay? No matter what. And you trying to correct that behavior by like enforcing some sort of mechanism to regulate that interaction, it's not going to work. Motherfuckers are always going to go, ah la 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 la, you want to bomb shit when they hear my name is Hasan. Or when I was younger, they definitely did that. I don't know if they still do that. But like, that's just how it is. It sucks. But every person that is not from like the main dominant background in the United States of America are always going to experience that. They're always going to experience that, no matter what. Not saying that it's a good thing, but there's also a certain level of like regular confusion that could be categorized as microaggressions. That is a normal part of people learning to understand and appreciate a different culture. Okay, and that's not even an American thing; it's everywhere. Yes, that's true. Turks do that shit to fucking foreigners all the time. Here's a microaggression, technically. Turkish people thinking every fucking black person that's like remotely athletic is a soccer celebrity. And it's not just Turks, too. It's like literally every country that has no black people in it will do the exact same thing. The black people that travel to fucking China and shit will tell you that, too. They're like, oh, you must be a celebrity. You're a black person. You're in Turkey. You're a celebrity, I assume. You have to be, right? So I think the weirdest shit is like neo-Nazis in my 8th grade class making fun of my Jewish science t-shirt. You had neo-Nazis in your fucking 8th grade class? What the fuck? So that's a microaggression, but it's not done because of some sort of... It's not done with the intent to cause harm to the other people, to like hurt them, remind them that no, they aren't actually a multimillionaire celebrity and just a regular average Joe who happens to be black, right? It's not to fucking hurt their feelings. It's just, it comes from a place of not knowing. And if you are from a heavily segregated society, you're just probably not going to know. So it's situational, it's conditional. And applying like an across the board rule to it is usually unnatural. I'm black and I went to Turkey. Everyone's super nice, and even though they all thought I was athletic, they were all friendly, and I thought they were hilarious. Oh shit.
And robust debate, free and robust political speech. Something that that Mr. Raskin and his team brought up is that it's somehow a suggestion from former President Trump's team that
you didn't have neo-Nazis in your class? Dude, I went to fucking school in Turkey. What neo-Nazis, dude? What are you, crazy? This is what I mean when, like, Americans are shocked that I didn't fucking grow up here. They're like, what? You didn't have neo-Nazis in your class? No, motherfucker, I grew up in Turkey. What neo-Nazis?
Exactly backwards. I saw a headline, Representative so-and-so seeks to walk back comments about, I forget what it was, something that bothered her. I was devastated when I saw that she thought it was necessary to go on television yesterday or the day before and say she needs to walk back her comments. Also, she should be able to comment.
Did I run an ad at the top of 12? I totally forgot, didn't I? So I'm going to go pee and I'm going to run an ad right now. At the top of the hour, every hour, we run a 60-second ad break. If you want to no longer see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5, or you can do it for free with your Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Here's the ad. I'm going to go pee. Here's the fucking audio.
And anybody who agrees should be permitted to say they agree. That's what we broke away from Great Britain in order to be able to do. To be able to say what we thought in the most robust political debate. My colleague, Mike Vanderveen, is going to give you a recitation on the First Amendment law of the United States. I commend to your attention the analysis that he's going to give you. I don't expect, and I don't believe that the former president expects anybody to walk back any of the language. If that's how they feel about the way things transpired over the last couple of years in this country, they should be allowed to say that. And I will go to court and defend them if anything happens to them as a result. If the government takes action against that state representative or that U.S. representative who wants to walk back her comments, the government takes action against her, I have no problem going into court and defending her right to say those things, even though I don't agree with them. This trial is not about trading liberty for security. It's about suggesting that it is a good idea that we give up those liberties that we have so long fought for. We have sent armies to other parts of the world to convince those governments to implement the freedoms that we enjoy. This trial is about trading liberty for the security from the mob? Honestly, no. It can't.
Wait, what? We've said fucking armies because we claim that like other countries' elections are null and void. Like, if this happened in a Latin American country, if what Trump did happened in a Latin American country and Trump happened to be a socialist, it's a wrap, brother. It is a fucking wrap. Do you understand? That is the best way to ensure that we turn around and fucking destroy the legitimacy of whatever their elections are. Or if Trump was the fascist, and is a proto-fascist anyway, and there was a socialist who won an election, and Trump was doing this, we would literally send an army there to defend Donald Trump or the Trump figure there to make sure that they were in a position of power. It's happened before, and it will keep happening.
You might consider that. And if we go down the road that my very worthy adversary here, Mr. Raskin, asks you to go down, the floodgates will open.
Like what? The floodgates will open? The what? Fucking presidents not being allowed to incite riots and fucking cause insurrections? Oh no, dude. Yeah, that's kind of the point. That's why they want to do it.
A biblical reference. But I subsequently learned since I got here that that particular phrase has already been taken, so I figured I better change it to floodgates. But the political pendulum will shift one day. This chamber and the chamber across the way will change one day.
Bro, I had a better argument in court when I was fucking defending myself against running away from the cops and kidnapping someone in NoPixel GTA. Like, and I wrote that shit on my notepad on my iPhone moments before I had to stand in trial and do a bench trial. This guy had months to fucking prepare. This is the best you got, dude? Holy shit.
I had lived through a presidential impeachment. Now most of us have lived through 3 of them. This is supposed to be the ultimate safety valve, the last thing that happens, the most rare treatment. And
I truly do not understand what the argument is here. I do not understand what the argument is here. It is so fucking
among
strange.
the most rare things it does. So the slippery slope principle will have taken hold if we continue to go forward with what is happening today and scheduled to happen later this week. And after we are long done here, and after...
Does he think he can filibuster the process like a fucking, like a senator? Like, he's just like, maybe if I keep talking, they'll get so bored that they'll fucking die. I'm going to run the clock out. Okay? I'm going to run the clock out until some of these fucking senators die. They're really old. We're just going to keep going. Until some of these senators die of being bored, dude.
The argument that I started with, that political pressure is driven by the need for immediate action because something under contemporary community standards really horrific happened, and the people represented by the members of the United States House of Representatives become incensed. And what do you do if a federal issue, if you're back in suburban...
Okay, this guy's like a little bit better than Rudy Giuliani because at least like he doesn't look like his fucking hair dye is leaking from the side of his face. And he's not permeating the same nervous energy that Rudy Giuliani does all the time, but he's still not fucking good. Like, he is very, I mean, this is some real Saul Goodman shit right here. This is horrible. Why do you think he could freestyle this? This is me when I didn't hit the fucking word limit on an essay, okay? I'm just trying to beef up the word count.
Gets impeached and is sent here for you to consider is Eric Holder during Fast and Furious, the Attorney General of the United States, or any other person that the other party considers to be a political danger to them down the road because of their avowed abilities and being articulate and having a resume that shows that they're capable. I picked Eric simply because I think he has he's had a tremendous career, and he might be somebody that some Republicans somewhere might be worried about. So maybe the next person they go after is Eric Holder. And, you know,
he's like, now I'm going to name names slowly but surely. Condoleezza Rice, George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton again, Hillary Clinton.
The Republicans might regain. The House majority narrowed, and there was a gain of Republicans. So the members of the House, they have to worry about these consequences, because if they don't react to whatever the problem of the day is, somebody in that jurisdiction there, somebody is going to say, if you make me the congressman, I'll react to that. And that means that the sitting member has to worry about it because their terms are short.
Good. Good.
And it's not just members of the House of Representatives with their short terms. I saw on television the last couple of days the honorable gentleman from Nebraska, Mr. Sass. I saw that he faced backlash back home because of a vote he made some weeks ago. That a political party was complaining about a decision he made as a United States Senator. You know, it's interesting because I don't want to steal the thunder.
Okay, this is more boring than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to be honest with you. This is like I thought it was going to be kind of boring. I didn't realize it was going to be this fucking boring. Oh my God, I can't watch this, dude. I'm sorry. Not the you know, politics Andes. If this is what your fun is, I don't know what to tell you. President Joe Biden meets with the CEOs. We're going to do some more stuff before I move on to NoPixel GTA, okay? I'm not going to watch it, dude. You're crazy. Burke the jerk. You're out of your fucking mind, dude. Even politics Andes are like, dude, go to RP. Go to RP. This shit sucks.
And participating. I think they're, as I've said before, you've heard me say it to labor groups and others as well, that American people are hurt. There's a lot of people are in real trouble. A lot of people going to bed at night staring at the ceiling wondering whether they're going to be in that apartment the next day, or they're going to be evicted, or they're going to keep their mortgage payment up, they're going to have any health insurance.
Come on, man. I stopped CNN to watch your take. At least go back to the Marjorie Taylor Greene defense. That's my take, brother, is that this is dog shit. The Republican defense is null and void. It is absolutely the most constitutional thing you could fucking do. As a matter of fact, there are a couple fundamental values that the Constitution is supposed to embody, which Republicans and Democrats alike constantly fucking talk about. And anti-tyranny is a big deal. It's like one of those things, okay? It's a freedom of speech is one thing, and then anti-tyranny is another, okay? It is way more important than like fucking any number of modern interpretations of the Second Amendment, which unironically is again about anti-tyranny, by the way. And same with freedom of speech and protection of the government to be able to freely assemble and express yourself and your religion and things like that. Like, that's all anti-tyranny arguments. Those are all rules set in place to push back against tyranny. Okay? Impeachment is one tool against tyranny. Impeachment is one tool against tyranny. So saying you can't impeach someone after they are done with their term implies that like there is a limit to what the Constitution wants to stop in terms of tyranny. And that time frame is like, if you're in the lame duck session, if you're in the lame duck period, you can just be as tyrannical as you want to be. It's called God mode. And that will actually create a horrific precedent. Okay? That actually is a scary precedent. And if I was a Democrat right now, what I would stress is, listen, we got to this point. Some of you were on board with this, and now you're going to act like you're not on board and you're going to rip the parachute cord out. You have to remember that what you are now saying is you are basically saying you can have God mode, you can have a cheat mode unlocked if you are in a lame duck session where you will never be tried and you will never get impeached for the actions that you take in the time frame where you cannot spear dick a goddamn impeachment process. And that is terrifying and is the most unconstitutional thing that you could ever advocate for. Okay? That has been my take. I've said this before, and I guess I had to repeat myself. But anything beyond that conversation is idiotic. And of course, it's procedural. It's symbolic. You're going to have fucking 4 hours of deliberations on it. It doesn't matter, though. The Republican argument revolves around this is unconstitutional because he's no longer in office, and this is against the First Amendment. The president should be able to say whatever they want to. And no, the First Amendment does not apply in this circumstance because this is an impeachment trial. He's not going to fucking jail. Okay. Secondly, you could literally make the argument that inciting a riot is not a constitutionally protected freedom. Definitely not afforded to presidents, and certainly not afforded to normal, regular citizens, regardless. But even if it was a defensible thing, like saying the N-word is defensible. Okay, saying the N-word is constitutionally protected. But if a president was like, you know, using the N-word while also talking about it, black people in violent terms, then you could impeach them. Okay? You could impeach a president for something that is still protected by the First Amendment. Can we see you grind today in No? Or are you doing narrative? What do you mean grind today or narrative?
The elements pointed out, we have a scarring effect that may be going on that could get worse. We have kids not in school. There's a whole range of issues, but I think they're all soluble. I think they're all within our capacity. As you know, I've met for a long time with my Republican colleagues. I've been exchanging correspondence with them and telephone calls as well to see if there's any way we can follow up beyond where we are, and meeting with the members of the House and the Senate as well. And I think we're in a position to think big and move big and to move in a direction that can be not only get the economy back on its feet, but we have to get people well before we get people on their feet. And we've focused a lot of the attention on making sure that we deal with the coronavirus, get it under control. As you know, you've been through all the detail with me on what we're doing on the coronavirus and the funding mechanisms that exist within this package, as well as we have to deal at the same time with employment. We have to deal at the same time with business and growth of the economy. We can't let one wait.
Okay, this sucks. All right, got it. You're not arresting Jamie Dimon for the crime of being a CEO. Got it. It's boring. House progressives make sure they heard negotiations. That's, we already briefly alluded to that already. Dave Rubin, if your entire world is political, you'd be wholly miserable. Yeah, but how else would Dave Rubin make money if it wasn't talking about how political, movies are and stuff, but in the other way? Someone wrote a Don Pecorino fan fiction, free content. What? I can't read this, dude. This is too much. Terrorist attack in Minnesota. What? I'm not going to do a breaking story on a terrorist attack, dude. I don't know what the fuck is going on. And there's also a developing story. The Buffalo, Minnesota. Multiple people were shot at a health clinic in Buffalo, Minnesota, and one person has been detained. There were also bombs. According to dispatch audio, 4 homemade bombs were detonated inside the Alena Health Clinic. Police scanner regarding Minneapolis PIO direct into the old courthouse. Yeah, again, I'm not going to do a fucking breaking news story about a bombing threat because you don't want me to get away from covering the news. My immediate assumption, of course, is that the fact that they were detained maybe, I mean... You're so used to Trump that you can't take normal political process anymore? That's not true. I spent like 3 hours talking about minimum wage the other day. Like, no, I still very much talk about like regular, monotonous, and boring policy issues that is considered boring that I try to make fun as best as I can all the time. Also, there is no such thing as like normal political process in America. The fucking normal political process that I'm considering to be boring here is literally a person who is not even well prepared trying to defend a president who has incited a fucking hog insurrection not that long ago. So nothing is normal in American politics. Dershowitz is not impressed. On Newsmax, Alan Dershowitz, who served on Trump's impeachment team last year, says Bruce Castor. I have no idea what he's doing. Maybe he'll bring it home, but right now it does not appear to me as effective advocacy. That's great. Maddow thinks he's ad-libbing. I think he's ad-libbing too. Insane React content. XQC slamming the fart. No, I don't want to fucking watch this lib shit, dude. The man Putin fears the most. Like, what the fuck, dude? Johnny Harris has gone full tilt, dude. Ever since he made one video for the New York Times, like... No, I'm not going to watch that. Okay, guys, stop. Stop. Dave Rubin stand-up compilation. I think I might save this for later. How many votes do they need to bar Trump? It's not a simple majority. It's like 67. I think. So they would need, yeah, it's 2/3. So they need, it's very difficult unless you can make a convincing argument to the entire country and somehow fucking get Trump to like fuck up again just to relitigate things that not watching the impeachment. Dude, there is nothing in this. This
they do
sucks.
now. It has worked 100% of the time. 100% of the time in the United States, when the people had been fed up with and had enough of the occupant of the White House.
You're literally fucking watching someone who even Alan Dershowitz, for personal reasons, obviously, is dunking on Newsmax, okay? Like, ghouls like Alan Dershowitz think this guy's doing a fucking bad job. For obvious reasons. But, you know, that's besides the point. All right, fuck this. I'm making an executive decision to move on to NoPixel right now. I know it's early. I know it's earlier than usual. But if something else happens in the trial and is important to everything that's going on, then we'll get back to it. And if you guys have a problem with that and no longer and are upset that I am role playing or playing video games, then I don't know what to tell you. But this shit is garbo for the most part. Only 1 hour of politics? No, I did 2 hours of politics. I started early specifically so I could do it early. But in any case, so does Kamala get to vote with the Senate or no?